Imeall anocht. Ceol fidle Martin Hayes an Scáileán Mór. An chuirlucht sa Brazil is scéalta Alex Hymans. On the floor le Afric Campbell. Agus comórtas aráníochta idirnáisiúnta Veronica Dunn. Cuir tús de máirt beagsa leis an bhéile Templebar Trad agus mar chuid d'amachtaí na féile tá spáin an scanán Natural Grace, scanán a dhéanann inniucha ar cheolann idirléire Martin Hayes. Big se haspáint san IFI ar an séolá fihid a chuime chuig áit chúchais Martin Hayes an ícail gon in chláir le leart leis faoin dograsa agus leir mé leis an scanán áir lean ar fud an damhna Art O'Brien. Cén fáin ann tú an scanán seo mai le Martin Hayes?
Well, bhúil mé le Martin den céadú riamh Sydney san Astráil agus bhí sé an sin mar chuid the Masters of Tradition an chuirm ceol hí an féile a líana an cáir sin ar siúla an am. Agus bhulachtam gur ábhar simú le clár an scanán a dhéanamh faoi Martinach. Nuair aon aithneagam ar Martin hain, go páirsta bhí aithneagam ar bhí mé tris bheith géisteach lena ceol le bliantach sa hain sé go mórlam. Ach mé géisteach leis san Sydney Opera House an rud a chuir iontas orm ná an ciúnas sa lucht éisteachta. Nuair a bheadh sé sein fán maul mar hampla. Agus ní bháin an ciúnas ach go háire is éteach an críoch. Agus an cúpla second sin in díg críoch nó. Nuair nach raibh ag daoine ar chórdó bhúla bás nó go luteach siad an dríocht a bhíad ar an faoi ag a buinte sin. So sé an rud a heastí bhain mar ná fálamach céirtá ar siúil aige. Ní amháin ghfuil ní techníc mar deafar an ceol bhí ag ach ghfuil spirid an ceol an san bhear hain. So an rud a bhí sa nniucha ná conas a bhúscaíonn sé an spirid sin as cadas a dagan sé.
So Art just turned up then one day and kind of we had a chat, like, and the next thing there's a camera, and you know there we are, you know. So he we were hanging out for a couple of years, I suppose. You know, Art would turn up here in Fakel, and he'd turn up in various different places, you know, around the world as well, and we just chatted away. And it was just like having a chat with a friend, and you know, except the friend would occasionally have a camera on his shoulder, but other than that, there was nothing to it, you know. It was just.
Did it get to the point where you almost ignored the camera and didn't know that he was there?
I'm afraid so. I did. Yeah, you'd think you wouldn't, but yeah. I've often looked at reality TV. Not that I spend a lot of time watching reality TV, but on the occasions I did, and I would see people really revealing themselves, and I say, what kind of fools are they? You know, like, how would you end up doing that? And you know what? If there's a camera around long enough, you forget. And sure, I suppose that's what's in the film, me forgetting.
Bhí deiscad gan áras a bheith dul a taistil go nua ára go dtí páin agus áitna eile le lindíh an scanán seo dhéanamh. Conas mar bhí an taithí son?
Well, bhín mé antainna bheits bheith obair leis sa Japan ach go háirithe. Thosaigh sé caint faoi an méid le thóracht a rinne sé sna 8daí na 9daí agus leabhar sé faoi na Upanishads agus an Zen Buddhism agus as sin gur hiic sé gur an rud is táchtaí a bhaineann len ceol ná go bhfuil an ceol siimplí. Agus ní aon cúis ná éis sin ach cúis céiliúra. Tá písas sa scanán thug mé an lucht feachna an lucht éisteachta agus iad éiste cógéir sin á cheol hain atá theaint aige ach go dtuigeann lucht feachna lean idirnáisiúnta an ceol seo.
There's that point that emerges in the opening 10 minutes or so in the film that good music needn't be difficult.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that's a hard thing to achieve sometimes. It's just the simplicity, and it's not that it's technically hard to do. It's just mentally hard to like stay with it. You know, as I've often said, like in workshops when I'm teaching, so I said like many times I'll be on stage and I could be up there for a half an hour playing the simplest of things, knowing that there could be like a bunch of people in the audience saying, what the hell is he doing up there? I could be up there doing that. Anybody could be up there doing that. In fact, anybody could, but oddly enough, people don't want to do it nonetheless. You know, it's staying with the simplicity is not so easy, you know. But sometimes you just have to play simply in order for the melody to just unfold, you know, just to be there, you know. This music is really about those melodies, I think. And sometimes I do want to kind of put my thoughts on music down on paper. You know, it wouldn't be an academic study, that's for sure, because I don't like the rigor of proof, you know. I like
instinct.
I like instinct and opinion, you know, and feeling and thought, you know. So I got lots of that. I think all musicians will acknowledge that there is a kind of a zen of music experience. There are moments on a night, there's a tune, there's a moment when everybody clicks, when it comes together. And it's always and very often a moment of self-consciousness and a moment of trust and instinct and feeling. So the question is, those things that happen accidentally and by chance, what would it actually take to, like, for the most part, to access that particular area of the music? You know, all the time, you know, or as much as you possibly could, you know. So that's why I like to think about it, you know, and see what, you know, what would it take on a personal level, you know, to do that. Just like as in life, you know, you want to get down to the essential ground meaning and feeling and understanding of life. With music, I needed to get to that most elemental, basic function and understanding of music. Just sound, the simple shape of a melody, the acoustics of a room, the feeling of the music. So when I knew that my only objective here is to bring a kind of a feeling from within the music to share with people and to change the atmosphere in that place at that moment in time, then things kind of get simple.
Agus má spéisialat Aistear Martin Hayes éiscint ar an Scáileán Mór, beidh sé a thaispeáint san IFI ar an 6 áfithe. As an ísiltír don údar agus iarseoirt Alex Hyman, agus is in Bahia na Brasília tar sé chur faoi le roinnt blianta nuas. Dailsigh sé chéad gnúsach gearrsceilte in Gaeilge ar na Maillimh, Gunta, agus leir ar dúirscóirt Michael Cronin leis an údar iltangach mar gheall ar an saoil sa Bhrasaíl faoi mar léirítear sna scéalta nuas a hé.
Can is spag an gnúsach seo, Alex?
Well, sé Imeall lárnach an gnúsaí seo ná an foréigen urbach sa Bhrasaíl. Gach bliain faoin 5,000 duine bás nó dúnmharí tar 5,000 duine sa Bhrasaíl. Ní féidir le nuacht an oscailt nó an telefíse chuirsú gan sro de de léocht ag ceall ar de Scáileán. Agus istócha go bé an cnúsach seo an bailach bhí agamsa le doling le lei sin.
Thug mé fi deada agus mé léamh an leabhar ghfuil téime an aachmachais fíor hábhairteach. Bhuis sin fíor?
Tá sin tús agus deire gachród an tiidirhealú idir na haicmí sóisialta éagsúla sa Bhrasaíl. Ní bhíonn againne sa Ghaeilge ach an tús aicme, an meán aicme agus an ístal aicme. Sa Bhrasaíl tá leagan tharbheith grána bheas am hain acu chun cuirsíos ar aicmí éagsúla tá aicme A, B, C, D agus E an. A an ceannas airde, E an ceannas ísle. Tá cónaí orm hain fuil láthir i gceantar C mar deire. Ach Bíon daoine a tagart donna litrecha grána seo ar sábhín so agus deardís banim se leis le acma A nó B. Tá sé anaisteach tá sé granta sa sochaí an taicmachas seo. Tá conaí ormsa i gcathair inar daoine gorma iad 8 fin géad den déanra. So híaltha nachmach mór an cineachas an ach ní acha ma túrisceoir gorm riamh ar a telefís mar hampla. Agus chuann sé sin astom agus má bhreaníonn tú ar ógraí thart fan gcathair chumá is daoine geala bhíon iontu leog.
I bhreath tusa agus tú istí mar hampla tá a bheile séar nebh ag sin scríomh agus scanistá gananta na gghearcéalta seo. An bhfuil an tálaíocht níos commasí orintí chun chuirsíos a dhéanamh ar gnéithe áid an tíl.
Tá sé ráite agat thosa mis amach mar iriseúir ach bhí dúla me gcónaí sa scríbneoireacht ag sin ach measim mar fiúsaláta nniuanta a gobar mar chórágraí nuachta do áisínacht san ístaltír as an Brasil. Agus uaireanta measim gur fearr ar an fiction chun teachtain an bhírinne ná iriseoireacht na bhíricí. Agus tá sé sin aisteach ach agus ní dóilm gur cheart de iriseoir le héad rá, nó bhah sé contartach le héad rá ach ní haon rúna gur fearlumm an fiction. Tá chuige chaáis sa tastalhain. Chuige níor chuimhnlumm an uair dhearannach ar nóta do chuige chaáis feici agam. Ceist éigeandálat an nó ní íring orta. Rug me ar fógmíga inné, bhí mála crack aige. Cac. Ná bí chimní ort, thug me waia. Mai thu. Ach nuair a ddíra maid de céir sa dealbhí ar siúlaige, dúirt sé nach ráráir bí aige ach tosú a díal. An tocras is cúis leis an digan tú, ní aon se ach rís agus spónarí sa bhaile má bhíon an méid sin héanán. Tá an lád fós a fás, ach seachas car wargéir ó zé, ní aon se fiol ar bíche le níche. Le chuige chaáis, be man an chinú gúi se stéig nó le héad úr nó sa teachtain. Níl agad ar bíle spáda sa teach aganne ach nuad. Níl chuige chaáis agam, ná dríocht.
Tá cúra éagsúil agat Alex, bhí a chuirsíos gartaí ar a gúra seo.
Well, rugam me san ísiltír nuair a bhí me fiche bliain déis bhg me gohéireann ar bhbliain idir bhálartaige idir an ollscoil ag Roma agus ollscoil na Gaillimhe, agus is réigen gneach mar eis go dtí ísiltír ó hin. Dálam an ghaige in Gaile agus an sin chama an chéad ghábhlíonn déo geile do híal sa chathair sin lé le héiriseoireacht agus bhí tréimh se an ar fá 5 bliana go café agam, café dá hangach in Gaile. An sin in ghabhir se 6 bhg me go dtí an Brasil agus tá sé taringt ar 5 bliana is ghfuilm sa tír sin.
Agus cad a bhhealtú dús chun dul chun na Brasíle?
Well, chum an ar saoire agus an sin gasú feararm agus héit mé an áis agus fósamar agus bhg me go dtí an Brasil. Nímuid le chéile níos mó, tá muid scartanis le beagnach bliana nuas ach. Tá an ghaol agam leis an áit i gcónaí agus ceapan go bama an ar fá tréimh sé eile.
A dóilead Alex gur féidirlinn bheith dearafach nó dóchasach mar gheall ar thalcaí na Brasíle.
Is féidir cinnte sé chuig mé súile an dain inis ar an Brasil a seo go ceann cúpla bliain mar gheall ar chóir an dain bheits ar siúla ghabhfuil sa céardéag agus an sin na cluichí Olympacha ghabhlíonn ina dhíal sin. Agus tuigí rialtas na Brasíle é hain. Ghuail siad i lár an aonlaí agus bhí gá siad cuma wa a chur ar chóirsinis an rud atá táhachtach nach bhhaann se ag sin nach cuma wa amháin a bheits ar chóirsaí ach go méid chóirsaí go maith.
Fáilte thneis. Bhí an blaclaíoch Afric Campbell in mór a réimeas sa saoil airgeadais Habhla London, íana stúrthir banistíochta le ceannas na bancéirí inistíochta is mór domhan. ach dág sí an saoil san ar fád in na díg le díú ar an scríbhneoireacht, agus tá 3 uair-scéal fáilte hiniseacha, cuideacha a bhí anamnathe do chradam litreatha idirnáisiúnta. Lear mé léonar bhí sí sa bhaile, mar ar a heistar saoil, agus mar an saothar stéine a tháinig go na peann on the floor. Laffer Campbell, you're very welcome back to Dublin, but
Thank you.
Can you tell me when you left Dublin first? You didn't go straight to London.
No, I went to Sweden, which I suppose nobody did. I wanted to get away, I wanted to change. I didn't know what I was going to do at college. I mean, now you'd call it a gap year. So I got a job as an au pair in Sweden.
How long were you in Sweden before you decided to do a degree in Swedish and before you were fluent?
A
year
and a half.
And you were
yeah.
fluent?
Yeah.
Does that say something about you?
No, well, I loved languages, and I was very determined. I knew then I wanted to do linguistics, and I wanted to do it through Swedish, and I was probably the only person who sat for a Council of Europe scholarship for Swedish, because nobody else could speak it. And it was good.
So what does a linguistic graduate from Sweden do then?
Try to get a job and fail. Honestly, I came to London, it was in the 80s, I applied for 40 jobs. I've never forgotten that. I had a great degree. So I got 2 offers, British Airways air hostess and a marketing job at the Stock Exchange. So you can guess which one I took.
So you decided initially to go into marketing?
No, I actually wanted to go into publishing, and that's what all the applications were, but nobody was interested. You know, I was an Irish person who spoke Swedish, who cared, yeah. And you know, I took the job in the city. I remember the night before the interview, I didn't even know what a share was. Yeah, so I was an accidental banker in that sense. But once I got into it, then it was very interesting. The first time I stepped onto a trading floor, I knew this is it. This is where I want to be. It's like being at the centre of news, the centre of movement, the centre of energy. I wanted it. You have to be someone who likes to be sort of measured by performance. Trading floors are kind of like theatre. You know, everything's very public, you work in very close proximity. If something goes wrong, everybody can see it, it's very visible. You've got to be able to recover from that situation. And that still interests me. I mean, writing is also performance. So, you know, I see a running theme as the continuity between trading and finance and, you know, going to Sweden and writing. I mean, I might be the only one who does, but it seems to me that it's all about testing yourself and finding the stuff that you're interested in and making things happen. I'm not a big believer in luck, I'm a big believer in hard work. I mean, work interests me, and you know, in all my books, all the characters have jobs. I mean, most people spend their lives, after all, at work, and then also with family. But I think it's central to your sense of identity, and it's also central to possibility within your life.
Now, Afric, On the Floor isn't your first published work, but was it a book you felt you had to write?
It took me ages, absolutely ages, to write this. I mean, I knew very early on that I would write about finance because I had to, how could I not? It was just so engaging. But to find the right way, because what I wanted to do was write in a way, one of the interesting things about finance is it's a closed world. So how do you bring people who don't know it into it, but at the same time keep it authentic? I wasn't interested in, you know, dumbing down, or so technically it was very difficult.
Yeah.
It took a long time, and I actually wrote one of the other books in between. I took a break from it, and it went through many different revisions.
The protagonist is an Irish woman, Jerry, working in the financial world in London. I assume it drew from your own experience.
Oh yeah, I mean it did. It's, you know, the phrase is autobiographically informed, you know. Jerry is a very talented investment banker whose career has been going wonderfully, and she starts to fall apart. Boyfriend dumps her. She goes into a decline, and then she gets caught up in this business triangle and a takeover deal. It's going to really push her to the edge, and she's going to have to make some important decisions. The cab drivers on the street far below are getting fatter on our titbits. They flock like crows around the concourse and eye us in their rear view mirrors. Sometimes they ask what we do, going into work at the same time as cleaners. And we play it down. Don't want to give the wrong impression about the money that we're making. Though we know we are overpaid. But that's what we cost. It's only the going rate, and anyway, there's no such thing as value for money. In 1 year, you can make more than your dad made in 20. The richest 5% of the population owns 35% of the wealth of this country. The poorest 5 owns nothing. But enough is a dirty word around here. For how could you ever have enough when there's always someone else who has more?
Writing this book that I suppose mirrors quite a lot of what you've gone through and what you've achieved, generally speaking, was it therapeutic to write this book?
It left me with a lot of questions. It left me a lot of questions about, well, Freud's great question, what do women really want? Got me very...
Please tell me. What do they want?
We're still wondering, but the real answer is, what do women admit to themselves that they want? All this ambivalence about work and all this talk about, for example, glass ceilings, regulation. All of the women I know who are successful, it's not because they sat around thinking about, oh, I'm a woman and these are all these obstacles. It's because they just got on with the job. I just don't think it's productive to focus on what's in your way. You just have to go for it, and that's what makes the difference. You get much further than you might expect.
Bei comórtas aróníochta idirnáisiúnta Veronica Dunn siúl sa cheoláras náisiúnta ón Google áfithe dín trocha héanú anar. Comórtas a reachtáiltar gach 3 bliana agus a thugla le chéile scut na náránathe ceoldrama. Bei blasan iscuin ó chuine na daoine a bheith go ghlacha páirte ann. Seo hí Gemini bhríon leis an aria síle bon air ón geoldrama Faust. Iva.